Albert Wesker, Resident Evil's greatest villain, is a super soldier tier man caused by a variant of the progenitor virus, enhancing speed, strength, durability, and agility.
The entire world will be infected. A new Genesis is at hand, and I will be the creator.
Once Ouroboros infects him, controlling the virus, gaining a mutated arm and immense strength, being able to punch holes straight through people, destroy concrete or metal plating, and throw a man so hard he breaks down a steel door, rips a steel gate down, stopping an RPG with his bare hands, requiring 7 tons of force to stop the kinetic energy, or throwing a jet missile with it exploding, taking 8,000 pounds of force. We see him manhandle Chris, a man who was able to move a boulder put around at least 50 tons, mogging him in strength before transforming and being able to smash and wreck huge rocks or pull a helicopter down, being stronger than Gianta. For speed, because of his mutation, is faster than any man and being able to beat any man in hand-to-hand combat, or whatever you call guys like Chris and Leon. Even Alexia, someone infected by the T-virus, just can't hit him. Can also dodge pistol rounds while multiple people are shooting at him at close range, or even ARs and shotguns being useless, even able to catch an RPG launched at him. When fighting him, he appears as a blur while blitzing people. We see this in basically every fight, putting him around supersonic speed, so this is around Mach 1, with peak agility and able to run up walls or dodge people of similar speed. And for durability, unharmed by most men or super soldiers, he bends a steel rod when hit by it, or fire having no real effect on him, or a bunch of 1-ton I-beams falling to no avail. With most guns only being able to momentarily stun him, shown with an RPG or shot in the head, we see him fine after multiple building level explosions, with a high regain factor, fine after burns, gunshots, knife wounds, falling thousands of feet, or even Tyrant ripping a hole through him, destroying his organs, or just to pop back up only to be taken down after getting stuck in lava and hit with 2 RPGs. Also, Wesker has 2 forms, we'll get more into that later, but for equipment, he also has a Beretta 92F firing a 19x9mm, and when he infects himself with Ouroboros because of his DNA structure, he was able to keep control, gaining strength and durability, and also gaining a massive tendril arm that can smash rocks or extend at least 20 meters and grab things. Ken Kaneki, a human-ghoul hybrid, has a Kaku surgically implanted into him, stronger than most pureblood ghouls. He's a man with immense speed, strength, and durability, gaining a predatory organ known as a Kagane, an appendage used to block, attack, or move, that can morph to the user's will based on creativity and intellect of said user, being able to use it as a hand or like a blade or a shield that can replace the limbs, with Kaneki's generally being long spear-like arms. In the final stages with cannibalism, it can adorn the wielder in armor if lucky. For Kaneki, there are 4 distinct forms: normal Kaneki, Heisei Sasuke, post-Cocula, Dragon, and post-Dragon. I'll span the feats from least to greatest. For strength, early on without any training, Kaneki can knock out normal ghouls. Dude's able to smash walls down with the durability of steel fibers, ripping out lampposts and using them as weapons. With the power and skill to beat down Jason after 10 days of torture, a man shown superior to most mid-tier ghouls, with Kaneki admitting close quarters combat would be tough in his current state with Jason's strength and regain, but slicing off his Kagane nonetheless. He quickly outpaced this, being able to easily beat top ghoul investigators, clashing with Armand, cutting his arm off, or knocking out Shinohara in one shot. Around this time, easily beating groups of ghouls, or when in buff form, ripping her apart with one arm. At this point, being able to clash with Arima, still not stronger. With the dragon form, he grows so massively in size it takes over multiple wards, around 12 miles, causing massive explosions. We won't include that, after evolving being able to easily beat Furuta, who could blitz and destroy Edo, or destroying dragon blobs or massive tendrils. For speed, early on, he blitzes most men and normal ghouls, killing groups that can react to Taikazawa or dodge pistols or machine guns, with most high-ranking ghouls being blitzed, like Edo, or fighting on par with Arima, the top ghoul investigator. In his fight with Furuta, you see him create 3 Mach cones, placing him around Hypersonic Plus. With his durability, baseline ghouls have the durability of steel fibers, or tanking weapon fire like pistols. Fight with Jason taking the brunt of his power, someone able to destroy concrete pillars or being stabbed in the gut and continuing to fight. With most ghouls, Kagane doing practically nothing after a point, even stabbed through the head and can keep going, reinforcing his body with his Kagane, increasing durability many times over, tanking attacks from Arima or the dragon tendrils. With a really high regain factor, healing missing arms or fixing his hands, being able to make new arms and legs for himself, cuts and blows are basically nothing for him. Stamina-wise, beating Jason with no rest after 10 days of straight torture, and his final form having RC cells almost completely take over his body, morphing him into a walking Kagane. Everything before just completely upgraded. So for this fight, if we use the higher ends, Wesker is stomped. There isn't one stat advantage except fight IQ maybe, with Kaneki's speed at least 3 times faster and stronger, stopping Edo's advance or destroying the tendrils that are destroying massive buildings. With Wesker fighting Chris, who pushed a boulder at around 50 tons, or dodging gunfire, for durability it's the same case. Wesker's not tanking more than 2 RPGs, that's nothing for Ken. Now when does this start is probably the more interesting question. For an early Ken pre-Jason, the closest thing we probably see is speed, both sitting in the hypersonic ranges. With less AP output, we see ghouls damaging concrete or stabbing others to the abdomen that are stated to be as strong as steel. While Ken has the speed advantage at this point, every other attribute is less. Strength-wise, Wesker is destroying massive boulders, durability, tanking RPG shots or not dying to a bunch of I-beams falling on him. Even his arm is better, a little slower, but the output is more. In this form, it's a low diff for Wesker. That's the wall. After that, we see Kaneki fighting high-rank ghouls and investigators, with someone like Edo destroying a massive reinforced steel compactor, Arima cutting the Black Reaper's legs clean off at that point. He mogs him. After he bloats up in Dragon and gains his Knight in Shining armor, it's not even comparable. He would get Blitz in one tapped. Now, if you did equal stats and bring it down to abilities, fight IQ, and innate power, with both being skilled fighters, the time Wesker's been indoctrinated and trained, fighting people like Kraus, it would probably give him the edge in that way, but Kaneki having so much more mobility would probably bring the most problems. So Wesker does well versus an early Kaneki with just too much output and durability, matching Kaneki's speed, but after that, Kaneki just exponentially scales past him in every way. Tell me why you think I'm wrong. Peace out. Custodes versus Jedi, I'll do that one. I keep seeing Guts mentioned a lot. Who would you want to see him fight, though? Like, I saw Mob, that would be cool. Maybe MCU Cap versus Muzan, that's an interesting one. Can't tell you why. Emperor of Man versus Gilgamesh. Make sure to comment some matchups to boost me in the algorithm. Like and subscribe. Bye-bye.